What if I told you that disappearing isn't the ultimate power move? That there's something infinitely more transformative than silence and absence? We've been taught for years that when someone hurts us, breaks us, betrays us, the strongest thing we can do is vanish, cut contact, block, delete, erase our presence as if we were never there. And yes, silence has its own quiet strength. It gives you space to breathe, to heal, to find yourself again. But that's not the whole story. The real transformation doesn't happen in hiding. The magic happens when you remain visible, yet entirely transformed. When your very existence radiates growth so undeniable that no one can overlook it. This is the art of being present without being accessible, shining without performing, existing at a level so powerful that your mere presence becomes a message. This isn't revenge, it's remembrance, a return to your truest self, the self that existed before the wounds, before the pain others handed you. When you stop identifying with the hurt, you don't just move on. You awaken a version of yourself that is unforgettable. The ancient alchemists spoke of turning lead into gold. They weren't just speaking about metals. They were speaking of inner alchemy, of transforming suffering into wisdom, pain into strength, wounds into power. And that kind of alchemy begins the moment you decide that your evolution will outshine your disappearance. The difference between reacting and consciously responding changes everything. Reaction keeps you trapped in the cycle of pain. Conscious response frees you from it. As Carl Jung said, what we do not make conscious appears in our lives as fate. When you shift from "why did this happen to me?" to "what is this here to teach me?" you stop being a victim and start becoming the architect of your own growth. There is a magnetic pull in someone who has turned pain into wisdom. Silence can be forgotten, but a visible, undeniable transformation cannot be unseen. Absence is predictable. Transformation is revolutionary. They may have expected to see you broken, bitter, and small. Instead, they meet you stronger, clearer, and more grounded than ever. That unsettles them, because it forces them to question everything they thought they knew about you. True evolution isn't announced, it's radiated. Your energy rises to a higher frequency, one they can't touch unless they rise too. You stop clinging, stop defending, and simply live in your worth. Ignoring requires effort. Transcending requires none. Once you've grown beyond what used to hold you, you're no longer playing the same game. When they lose the emotional grip they once had on you, they also lose the illusion of control. Your calm becomes their chaos because it denies them the reaction they once depended on. That's not cruelty, it's liberation. At your core is an unbreakable light. It can be dimmed by hurt, but never destroyed. Shining from that essence, not to impress, not for validation, becomes the clearest proof of your freedom. You no longer have to explain yourself. Your peace is felt. Your growth is seen. Your joy speaks for itself. And that is the most graceful closure there is. They don't just lose the old version of you, they lose access to the energy that once sustained them, and you gain everything you were always meant to be. In the end, it was never about them. It was about reclaiming your light, your worth, your frequency, about choosing growth over reaction, choosing evolution over resentment, choosing to rise. You were never here to shrink. You were here to expand, to turn every wound into wisdom, every ending into a beginning. And now, you remember.